So you are a tough ass girl, like to do Lethwei. Let's just talk a little bit about that. And you're the Burmese Python. It's Myanmar. Like, why did you discover Lethwei? Was it seeing Dave Leduc, or was it just your own and want to go to the country that you are related to?
Yeah, so my mum was actually born in Myanmar as a kid, and I remember growing up, I was like, I'm going to take you home one day. I'm going to take you home one day. Like, I had no idea how. And then when I was given the name the Burmese Python and started doing some more research about the country, so I get really interested in the heritage and found out, like, oh, wow, there's this really cool sport there. And that's super ancient. And, they do fights. It's like a traditional martial arts fighting style. Started watching and just thought it was absolutely incredible. I mean, you see the people there, and I think when you're always on the side of the screen, you're like, I could definitely do that. And you're like, that's going to be no problem. Like, the nerves will be normal. And then you get there and you sign up, and, it then sort of just hits you as you're about to walk out. Like, what? Have I just actually signed up for, like, a bare knuckle boxing fight
Right.
with headbutts? Like, I haven't even had a street fight. What am I doing? I even said to all my friends and family at the time, I was like, did none of you tell me this was like a bad idea? And they were like, you are not listening to anyone.
Dude, that's amazing. Because it's probably one of the most craziest things in the States here. It's funny how like we think we're extreme, but we have bare knuckle, but it's just no boxing gloves. And that's the most extreme thing you're doing in martial arts. That for people who don't know, it's like over 2,000 years old. Myanmar had with Thailand has Thai boxing. It adds headbutts and other things that basically have been lost through translation. And
limbs.
What's that?
The 8 limbs.
Yeah, it's it's 9 limbs actually because you're using the head.
Yes.
Yeah, Muay Thai is the 8 limbs.
Yes, Muay Thai is 8 limbs. All right, yeah, you know. But yeah, like I said, a question I wanted to ask you is because I was watching some of your other fights, and it's not that you're not smooth or whatever, but it's funny when you said the nerves coming out because I was like, whoa, it must feel like a different fight when your hands are wrapped and you're doing that because it almost looked like you're not fighting for the first time, but it looked like a different type of fight. And you could I could see it because I'm not like a layman, I guess, but did you feel like that pressure going in, wow, I'm in a street fight?
Not necessarily, wow, I'm in a street fight, but it was more so like, okay, women are naturally dramatic. I'm very dramatic. You can't laugh. The final thought was like, I could die. Was actually what went through my head. Oh dear, that was the actual thought was going through my head. And then after that, you know what? When I have gloves on, and I don't know if you find the same too, but I find when I fight with gloves on, even though you know that you're getting punched, you're getting kicked, because of all the adrenaline, I just don't feel it all. And then the first jab that was landed without the gloves, I absolutely felt it, and I was like, oh no, we're not standing still, we're gonna have to start moving. So that was a big difference. I immediately felt far more consciously there, whereas I think sometimes I zone out. I'm sort of, more in the state of flow, and it's just all very automatic, and you're responding just because you've trained so hard. And not that I didn't train hard, but it just felt like I was so more present and there in the moment. Just everything was heightened.
Interesting.
Wow, that is interesting. Because it is crazy looking, and it's just something a lot of people like even when you see with the headbutts, and just said as a sport, it's effing wild. It's fucking wild. So for you to do that, and you're just a woman from UK, I don't know any women even that are fighters. There's men that are scared of doing that. So
I know, but you know what? I felt afterwards I'm never going to be nervous for another gloved fight. This is me being majorly optimistic, but we'll see when my next fight is if that proves to be true.